not having used this before. I hope it works. Yeah. Arrow to the right, I say. Oh, it's not on there yet.
Just there. One back.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So, bear with me, I haven't seen one of this before. Yeah, my name's Sabine Suess, and yes, my history is veterinarian. I won't go too much into my change of career. I worked as a veterinarian for 25 years, and I've always got to say my degree of it's too cliche. Changed to working as a senior horticulturist at the natural area in nursery. And basically, I was just fortunate to be able to transfer my interest and passion into working with native plants now, and people as part of the team. There were lots of transferable skills and interests, actually. So you're just as passionate about animals as you can be about plants and the other way around. So, a bit closer.
You can hold it.
There.
Right.
I can hear myself now. Okay. And I heard before the words grounded industry, which I agree with very much so. And being outside and breathing the plant's oxygen and the mental health benefits are certainly there now working outside with plants. Anyway, enough about that. So when I was asked to present at Berlin RPPS conference, the topic suggested was on my main work role, which is plant yield coordinator. And it's a role that perhaps not every nursery has as part of their working team. And I'll take you through how that role integrates with the team and has key aspects and is focused on surgeon outcomes. So let me introduce my workplace. So this works. It does. So Natural Area Nursery, it's part of our company Natural Area Consulting and Management. It's a company that provides environmental rehabilitation services. For anyone who wasn't here for David Hancock's talk. And it's got teams in consulting, projects, seed, field, animal management too, and our nursery of course. So we produce native plants for our own teams and sell directly to clients for revegetation and landscaping projects. Plants are produced seasonally, and most plants are dispatched within the very short periods of 2 to 3 months in autumn and winter. So right now, I'm here, and Erin, our dispatch coordinator, is also here, so it's challenging because it's all hands on deck now. So anyway, we produce over 600 species and specialise in recalcitrant plants and provenance-specific stock. So we pride ourselves in producing a really wide range of native plants that are quite many of them difficult to propagate. And we're also able to trace the plants by origin, so potentially which regional park they're from, and avoid hybrids, so trying to stay with pure seed. And it's a challenge to look after all these plants with their water, nutrient requirements and media, etc. So there's a lot of variables to go through. So I'll take you through our quality control story. So previously we were focused very much on production, get as many plants produced as possible. And with time, we worked out, well, we need to also reduce losses. So yeah, and improve plant quality as time goes along and keep improving procedures. Water conservation became really crucial, especially with the move to the new nursery and with the way the weather is now, very dry conditions. So a plant yield coordinator role was introduced to try and have the focus of improving yield, so reducing losses and improving quality and optimising water management. And our anticipated outcomes were to improve efficiencies and productivity. And again, like I said, solid plant quality and refined water. I want to emphasise here, it's not the effort of one person here, me, it is the effort of the entire team to help with plant quality. Everyone contributes. But the coordinator role allows early targeted action and to be proactive and optimising the resources. And it's basically being the eyes for the nursery to help the manager and the team to prioritise their tasks. So I looked at a few aspects of the role, and I thought these are probably the main ones. So monitoring stock, infrastructure and procedures, finding problems. And for that you need to schedule a scheduled, allocated time to be able to regularly monitor and assess. Manage water and reticulation, working out priorities and how to implement the changes. So implementing liaising with teams with the findings I have from the monitoring. And then recording the data, of course, because that allows you to analyse it and improve procedures. So create SOPs and so on. And finally, researching new best practice procedures, products, equipment, resources. So to start, I'll talk about finding all the problems. So monitoring stock, infrastructure and procedures. So I guess it requires, as I said, time to be allocated to do regular monitoring. And some of the monitoring might be really short, so just checking how's the water going, are the plants stressed, they're more frequent, and a little bit less frequently, but still regularly is a very detailed check where you're looking for plants that are struggling to grow or having any issues. When I do the walking, you can't do the entire nursery in one go, obviously it'll take too long. So I walk in a pattern that samples the areas in a random way and make sure I include areas of risk or high importance, so valuable plants or risk to get stressed. So checking perimeter and infrastructures regularly, and to do all this I carry a fair bit of equipment, just a picture of my things. There's lots of information available on Green Life Industry Australia website in their technical information page, which you probably might be all aware of. I've put the link in there just in case. On how to do a really good surveillance walk. So just a bit more on detailed scouting. I'll call it scouting. So basically I'll do things such as noting areas to grade or like recording losses along the way, which will help the production team. Detecting hybrids or any species corrections or labelling errors that I might come across. Checking infrastructure problems that might be erosions or leaks or building issues. Checking biosecurity and hygiene, so our procedures, disinfestation, water testing, soil media testing, looking at the perimeter, and manage environments of buildings. So we have several buildings that can be changed, so like opening sides or roofs, or in the middle of the slide is our cuttings house. It's quite highly automated, so it's got sensors for humidity, light, and temperature. It's got wet wall, fans, roof that opens automatically. So just managing all those things are part of my list as well. Next one is checking medium moisture and plant stress. Just a quick word on that. I guess part of saving precious water resources and managing the plant quality, we try to really optimise the water usage. So we grow native plants, as you know, and they need to be hardened to be able to survive out in the harsh Western Australian environment, very water repellent, poor soils there, mostly sand. So, and therefore we will push our plants a fair bit, and we don't just look at the surface of them. I will often tip them upside down and make sure they're not supported all the way through, depending on the maturity of the plant, of course, apart from looking for wilting or other signs of overwatering. So investigating health problems, big area, limited time. So I look for patterns and all those things that I've written down here. So date potted, is there a pattern with that? Was it a hot day? Provenance, is it a particular location where the seed came from or the plant came from? Potter ID, how much experience, is it one person or not? Positioning to water, light and wind, moisture of the pot and root health, of course, checking the entire plant basically, foliage, stem health, how dense is it, all those things. Looking with magnification is really important. Checking for weeds, are they impacting on the plant? And then if I still don't find anything in the poorly doomed area, check soil pH, EC, other soil tests, maybe even sending a sample away. Magnification and ID, just a quick word on that. Found that eye-opening, easier to see. On the bottom right picture you can see 10 times magnifying lens that I've just carried on a lanyard with me. And on the top right is the phone, of course. You can do your macro pictures and zoom in. There's also magnifying lenses available for the phone. And just as an example, on the left top-hand side is the thrip. It's less than 1.5 millimetre in size. I'll only see that if you beat the plant against a white sheet of paper to dislodge the pest and then magnify it just to see what it actually is. I had to learn all that. So, so it's magnification really is very important. If you can identify what the pest is, it really helps to proactively target what the treatment might be required, what preventative measures might be required. Detecting weed focus areas, that's a big passion really. If we can control weeds in the nursery, and we're managing it, I think, quite well at the moment, you can just help so much with plant quality and efficiencies hugely. It's absolutely crucial. So what we found useful is that if we do what we call power weeding affectionately, so weeding the entire nursery within at least 1 to 2 weeks, no longer than 2 weeks. Targeting to remove weeds that go to seed within that time. So anything that will spread rapidly or is difficult to treat or goes to seed is targeted. If we come to an area that's got more weeds occurring, we flag it with a colour flag, and we come back to that later with a special team. So that we don't get stuck in one area and then don't get to another end where things can go out of control. So this allows the whole nursery to be weed controlled and targeted effort where it's needed, and not to have more infestations develop. Ground weed control is really important, of course, because I'll jump into your stock. And the slide on the right is a native plant that's gone to seed. They can become weeds as well. Not weeds, but, contaminated pots. Production technique, checking on that as well, of course, just an example here of J roots. So that's a production technique problem, and then you find out where you can quickly find out who's doing this and then help educate them with their technique. There's many other production techniques to keep an eye on, just listed on here as well. Detecting pest animals or wildlife. We had a lot of experience of that this year with the dry conditions. There's no food out there for all the wildlife and pests. So I'm talking about rats, mice, rabbits, but also our southern bandicoots, quenders, and kangaroos came in and liked to chew our beautiful green tasty plants. If they don't leave so it's important to work out what they are so you can target what actions you want to take. And sometimes they don't leave a clue, like scats or nests or footprints on the perimeter walk, and you just don't know what it is. So we've used motion trigger cameras, and the picture on the left you can see is a rat caught in flagranti in our seed tray, and we also can look at which plants are being attacked and the chew marks. So on the right is Mocarina Creasii, and it's been chewed. You can see the 20-degree angle of that leaf, and that is most likely to be a rabbit in our area. So I know how to target the action there. Alright, managing water and reticulation. Big area again. Obviously goes hand in hand with plant yield. It's the lifeblood of plants. Main points are careful daily scheduling. We use our forecast data. We use the weather station, which we can access from our mobile phone, and the scouting report as well, so we can adjust it on a daily basis. It's drinking balanced water with all the different species, pot sizes, and maturity levels. But you know, as I said, we'll try and minimise our use. Yeah, it's been the driest 6 months in 150 years in the Perth area. Maintenance and testing of reticulation, keeping things going well, that's part of my job as well. And water quality usage monitoring and responding to system breakdowns and troubleshooting, of course, as well. Implementing and liaising with teams. Oh, one too many. That is a pretty big area. So it's basically working out, after collecting information, what needs doing, if it needs doing, how urgent is it, and who will do it. And basically all the decisions are made keeping the plant value, the efficiency of what you want to do, available resources at the time, and the nursery priorities in mind. Face it, we're all busy and everything's urgent, but you know, it helps liaise. We need to liaise with the team to prioritise and schedule our actions. So just quickly explaining, our core members are coordinators. We create the team, they create the team, and work out a time and way to get the action done. So for larger work, like say the maintenance team, it'll be all of us, and that's 12. And we will work on it for a certain time, and for a smaller team, like say the nutrition, it'll be 2 or 3 people. So the coordinators drive the action, and the responsibility is shared by all. We need to remain flexible too, because the priorities change and suddenly you have to do something else than what was planned. Okay. So communicating with teams, we use the good old whiteboard for a big job like say maintenance, so that everyone knows what we're up to. 3 asterisks for the most important things to focus on. We obviously use Teams, posts in groups, and informal communication. Ensuring actions are completed is important too, so I keep an eye on that. Ticking off my master sheet on the top is how we start. And if something's not being done and it's become urgent, flagging that and bringing that to attention. Informing key staff members on outcome. Is that plant doing okay now after all the treatments? Documentation. That is always a challenge to keep everything recorded and updated. Refining record keeping is an ongoing project, but it helps analyse the data and plan the improvements of the procedures later. And eventually we can write the SOPs and the IPM planning and things like that. So it's record keeping is part of everyone's role. It's not just me, so it's another big team effort. And final one is research and development. So I contribute towards that as well. So finding new treatment products, infrastructure and equipment improvements and additions, procedures, for improvement, those 4 points up there. Training information, so finding resources and making them available to everyone. A couple of examples of posts made to hang in the nursery to educate and motivate too. So finally, benefits of the targeted nursery quality control that I can see, or we can see, is we've ended up with reduced plant losses, improved stock quality, and because of that, increased profitability and happier clients, and I must say happier staff as well. Early recognition of problem areas has helped for things such as production and sales perspective. You need to now put on more plants or change things with clients. Increased efficiency is a huge thing. So having almost a weed-free nursery made dispatch grading so much quicker. Weeding and other maintenance tasks are much more efficient and quicker. We talked about the water efficiency and record keeping motivation, so for improvement and innovation. So thinking outside of the box, finding new ways. I think it helped with that. And the final point, pride in all staff, that as a combined effort we drive it together and efficiently grow a quality product. That's important too. So that's the end. I did want to thank all of you for listening just before lunch. I did want to thank my manager Andrew Nguyen and director Sabine Suess and my mentor David Hancock for all that support in my role. And I wanted to thank the IPPS board for inviting me to talk here. It's really been an honour and a pleasure. I feel very grateful. So, and also I wanted to thank IPPS in general and the conference organisers too. It's been an amazing conference. I had there's basically a heart in IPPS, I think, and family feel, and a humbleness that I can feel. So it's an amazing organisation. So, can I say one quick more thing? Yeah. So I wanted to say something to finish up. Our manager says, and I quote, "What makes a successful nursery are its people." Lisa mentioned people. So he gave all of us a coordinator role who put together a team and drive routines. This works really well and allows people to grow in their role, in themselves, like our plants. So I play a small part, and others do too, and when we all come together to drive the cogwheel, it's really a beautiful thing. And so we all have a common goal to produce happy plants, to give back to our precious natural areas in West Australia, and I'm really grateful to be part of that.